Ugh, that was such a bad intro. Okay, let me try this again. Okay. Hello. Sorry, I'm trying to do a funny, quirky intro and it did not work, but okay. So, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about removing body hair sustainably. So, I know this is like a really weird subject to talk about for some people, but I just felt like I needed to say something about it because there's actually a lot of waste attributed to like removing your body hair. So I thought I would go through some of the methods that are out there and available for people to use, and I would basically say how impactful they are on the environment or not, and ways that you can make it more sustainable to remove your body hair.
Drifting away, ain't nothing left but some rhymes and decay.
So before jumping into this video, there's two things that I want to mention very quickly. The first one is that this video is not me by any means telling you that you need to remove your body hair. Like, you do not need to remove your body hair. If you are comfortable with your body hair, go off, like do it, you know, do whatever makes you feel best in your body. And if that is to remove your body hair, then do that. And if what makes you comfortable is to keep your body hair, then do that. You know, like, both things are very fantastic and I rate both things. The second thing is that I am not a specialist or an esthetician or anything like that in body hair removal. I am just a very hairy girl. So I have, like, what I'm talking about, I'm speaking from experience because I use a combination of all the methods I'm going to mention in this video to remove my body hair because they allow me to not look like Chewbacca on the daily. So I do use a lot of these methods of body hair removal. So I know what I'm talking about a bit from like a experience standpoint and like which parts of the methods produce waste and stuff like that. So that's why I'll mostly be discussing the sustainability side of hair removal. The first method I'm going to talk about is shaving. So this is the cheapest method, so if you're like lacking the funds and you're trying to just get your hair off in a manner that will not break your wallet, then shaving is really it for you. But the issue is that shaving is actually one of the most wasteful ways to remove your body hair because almost everybody in the world uses disposable razors, or the razors that have like the disposable heads on it, like the blade tops. So here's a fact about disposable razors. The USA throws out 2 billion cartridges and disposable razors a year on its own. So if you think about that in the grand scheme of things, the US is a pretty large country, like there's a fair amount of people there, but they're not the only country, right? There's like 194 other countries with so many people in them. If everyone starts like throwing out cartridges like left and right, then there's just gonna be so much trash, you know? So that's just terrible. Second fact about it is about New York City. So if everyone in New York City throws out one razor cartridge a week for a year, it's gonna make 8,721 tons of trash, and all that trash is hazardous because of the blades in the cartridges. So it's considered hazardous waste and it goes right to the landfill and does not get recycled. If you do like shaving and it is your preferred method of removing your body hair, think about getting a what's it called? A safety razor, I think is what this is called. Yeah, it's a safety razor. So this razor actually lasts you for your whole life. You'll never have to purchase another razor. The only thing you do have to do with these is that you have to replace the blades. So as you're replacing the blades, you can recycle them. But the thing about the blades is that you have to get like some kind of container to put your blades in because you can't recycle one small blade at a time. It is dangerous for the workers in the plants who do sort through the recycling material. Most brands that have just like these safety razors will have like a container or like a bag of some kind, and what you do is as you replace your blades, you put them in the bag, and then once the bag or the container or whatever you have is full, you take that and you bring it to the recycling place and then you recycle it all together. So that's kind of how you would recycle the blades of these. Another part to shaving with a safety razor that can produce waste is that with this razor, for your own comfort, it's kind of important to use shaving cream because it can irritate your skin if you use it without shaving cream. So shaving cream is most likely sold in a plastic like thing, pump or whatever, or it's in an aerosolized can, which is really not good for the environment. Actually, it's quite trash. So the best thing to do is you can buy solid shaving creams from ethical brands, or just like lathers from ethical brands that come in recyclable packaging, and you can also use your conditioner. Actually, that's what I use. I use my conditioner because I'm not about to go pay for a whole other product. So yeah, it works really well because conditioner is already hydrating, so you just kind of lather some conditioner all over your legs and then you just go for it. Oh right, I forgot to mention actually that these things are metal, so they rust, so it's really important to maintain it, and after you use it you should wipe it down and then store it in a dry area so that it doesn't rust. So yeah, anyways, if you want to shave, this is a super cool method. Okay, so the next method I'm going to talk about is Nair. So I don't actually know how many people do use this as their everyday method of hair removal, but I did use it at some point because I didn't want ingrowns, and I know that it's really good for ingrowns, but I had a super bad experience with this product, and I do not recommend just because of how terrible my experience was. But for the sustainability side of it, it's really not good either. So this product comes in a plastic bottle, obviously, and if you're looking to be sustainable with your hair removal, this is really not it, because you're not trying to produce more plastic, you know? So you should basically avoid this method if you're trying to reduce your like plastic consumption. However, if you do choose to use Nair as your method of hair removal, it's really important that when you're done with the product and you're done with the bottle, you need to clean out the whole bottle. Like, you need to make sure there's no more product in it, because actually products don't get recycled. Like, they'll filter them out if there's still stuff in it because they can't recycle the chemical inside the bottle, right? So it's really, really important when you recycle, literally if you recycle anything, make sure it's clean before, and it's only the bottle, and that there's nothing left in it. In my opinion, like, I think Nair is just not the way to go for hair removal sustainably. So the next method of hair removal that is actually pretty good is waxing. So the bad thing about waxing is the strips are not sustainable at all. So if you're going to use waxing strips that you can buy at the drugstore, that's not really sustainable, because the plastic strips are single-use plastic technically, so they don't get recycled, and basically these plastic items will end up in the ocean and then they'll decompose into microplastics, which is terrible, or they'll end up in landfills, which is equally terrible. So either outcome is not good, and you just don't want to use the wax strips. For waxing, you can buy pot wax, or you can, like, it's like melted wax that comes in a pot that you heat up and stuff like that, or you can get hard wax. Hard wax is like, you just get it as pebbles, and then you heat it up in a pot, and then you put it on, and then it'll harden on your leg, and then you rip it off. So it works pretty well. You can also get these strips that are cotton. So they're cotton and they're washable strips, so you can reuse them as often as you want. So that, there's like no problem with that. So if you are going to wax, you need to consider the method that you're waxing with and make sure that you're not using strips. So waxing is all in all a pretty good method. It literally removes your hair very well if you're good at waxing, I guess. So the next hair removal method that I'm going to talk about is kind of a big one, and it's something that I have done, and that is laser hair removal. I'm going to talk about the procedure first, and then I'm going to get into the sustainability, because I do feel like this is a procedure that a lot of people do consider getting. So I just wanted to like give you information about it so you can like think about it and know what it actually is from the standpoint of someone who has gotten it done, not from the professional that will do it though. So take that into consideration. I got laser hair removal for my 18th birthday, and I got it done because before the laser I had really thick, really dark body hair almost everywhere, and it made me really uncomfortable. Also, I'm very pale, if you haven't noticed, so my body hair really stuck out, and there was no way of hiding it, basically. Like, if I hadn't shaved or I hadn't waxed or anything like that, it was there and everyone could see it, and it made me very uncomfortable, and I just did not like the summer at all. The areas that I got laser hair removal on are my legs, my bikini line, like I've done my whole legs, my bikini line, and my upper lip. So I'm going to talk a bit about what happens when you go for a session. This has been my experience at the place that I went to, so it could be different depending on which cosmetologist you go see and stuff like that. I live in the Toronto area, so I went to a place in Toronto. And so when I went there, what happened is you have to go for a consult before you start, and they'll like observe, they will look at your body and they'll look at your hair, and they'll tell you what they think you'll need. So they told me that I needed like probably 8 treatments, and then the period of time between treatments for me is 6 to 8 weeks, and that's actually pretty standard, to be honest. When you go to your first session, at the beginning of the session, there's like a head nurse, I think, or something like that, who always comes to see you first, and they tell you how you're doing, like your process or whatever. And then they'll tell you the strength of the laser that you're going to use. Like when you keep coming back for your other treatments, they'll tell you if you need to go, like how many notches you're going up this session. There is a different person, a different nurse, other than the head nurse who's going to do your procedure, probably. Oh, like a little note, don't go to just like any random person that you see an ad in the paper for or whatever. You have to go to an actual cosmetologist for this, because this is technically like an intense procedure and you can get severely hurt from it because it's a laser. So you should go to a professional, like someone who knows what they're doing and who's certified and all that stuff. That's just like a little side note. But yeah, so when you go in the session, they're going to give you goggles because it's a laser. And then what they do is they mark the areas. They have this like white pen or whatever, and they mark the areas on your skin into different sections so that they do those sections. And then they put like a cool gel on your legs, and then they laser the sections. For me, my procedures were like an hour and a half to 2 hours because I got my whole legs done, my bikini line, and my upper lip. So yeah, it took a really long time, and it hurt a lot at the beginning, quite a bit. There was quite a bit of pain, but it does ease up as you go. They tell you that it feels like plucking, but to me it felt like knives going in. So it did like hurt a fair amount, but that could also be because I have a low pain tolerance, so who knows. One can never tell. For me, it was very, very terrible. It did get easier, like it like started hurting less, but it was never like easy breezy, like I'm just sitting there and they're doing it type of thing and I'm just like chilling, you know. It was very painful the whole time. I had a stress ball. They gave me a stress ball, which was really nice of them. For the upper lip, it's a different procedure though. They put a like wet gauze between your teeth and your upper lip, and then they put the cool gel on. And they give you these different goggles, like completely different goggles that cover like your eye area completely, and that you're literally blind, like you can't see. Like they put like gauze, and then they put the goggles, kind of like if you guys have ever seen the Cinderella story, the like tanning bed goggles. And then they like do it on your upper lip because it's really close to your eyes, so they don't want to hurt your eyes. So yeah, that's kind of the procedure and how it's done. In regards to my results, I'm actually quite disappointed. I had one more treatment left when coronavirus started, so I didn't get all 8 treatments, but I was still disappointed because it did not turn out as good as I wanted it to. Because your body hair, after you get laser, it's supposed to be like completely gone. I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed, like it doesn't work for some people, but like I was a pretty good candidate. Like that's the doctors, the professionals or whatever, they said that I was a pretty good candidate for it and that it should have worked or whatever. My mom got laser like 10 years ago, and she has no body hair anymore, like literally none, like hairless rat. My sister got it too, and she does not have any body hair. So and they got 8 treatments, and it was like virtually gone by the 7th. So I am still I'm still hairy, quite like quite. So I'm a bit disappointed with how that turned out. So that was a huge long-winded explanation of what laser hair removal is, and like, well, not what it is, because I don't actually know how the whole science behind it. I don't know that, but I mean like how the procedure works when you go in to get it. That's my experience, and that's what happened to me. The reason I wanted to get this, and I actually really asked my parents if I could get this, because my mom got it, my sister got it, and I really wanted it. One, because of my hairiness, because it was the bane of my existence, but 2, because there are so many upsides when talking about sustainability with laser hair removal. It is a super sustainable method of hair removal because what you do is you get it once when you're young, and then you're just never gonna have body hair in those areas that you lasered ever again, or at least that's the whole point, right? You're gonna be hairless for a pretty long time. Obviously there are hormone changes in life that could change that, like who knows, I don't know, but they say that it's like it lasts for a pretty long time, the effects of laser hair removal. Like, you're hairless for a long part of your life, and I want to be hairless. Anyways, yeah, so that just completely eliminates the need for hair removal products in general. So, like, I'm never gonna have to shave again. Like, you're never gonna have to shave your legs, you're gonna have to wax your legs, you're never gonna have to wax your lady stash or whatever, you know? Like, it just eliminates the need for hair removal products in the areas that you have lasered, which basically reduces your amount of trash in that department to like 0%, so you're just not gonna have any waste to remove your body hair because it's just gone. So that is why I think laser hair removal is very sustainable, just because you're not gonna need any products. And I know I'm repeating myself, but that's like what I'm trying to say. Like, you're literally not gonna need any products ever to like remove your hair, ever. You're just gonna be like zero waste, I guess, as much as possible in the hair department. But it is expensive, and that is what I didn't mention before. It is an expensive process, so you should only do this if it's within your means. And also, you need to be patient with the results. Sadly, I feel like I've been patient because I did almost all my treatments and there's still a shit ton of hair on my body, and I'm a bit upset about that, but it's okay. Maybe I'll figure it out after coronavirus. But yeah, so you do have to be patient because it's not like instant results. That's like you wait a bit and then it should happen. Unless you're like me and it just does not. But yeah, so that is laser hair removal. And in my personal opinion, it is really good for sustainability. Alright, so that is an overview of like most of the methods, some of the methods of hair removal and their sustainability attributed to it. Yes, so now it's up to you to choose which method you want to use and if you're gonna be sustainable or not. So before you guys go, really quick, I started TikTok. Yeah, so if you guys wanna just like see my everyday shenanigans and stupidity, please do follow my TikTok because I just post like little jokes like once or twice a week or something like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you want more like information about sustainability and the environment and stuff like that. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!